Well, hello everyone. Welcome back.
Hello.
How are you?
Ah, I'm just lovely, I guess.
Okay, good. So, were you able to get anything? Did you try to put anything in Canvas?
I'm gonna tell you that I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get a chance. I went and grabbed a sandwich, and I had to call my credit union because my account got overdraft.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it was a short time between the session this time. We didn't want to start early this morning because we just sent you the email last night. So it was just
Yeah,
a short time. Next on Monday and Tuesday, we have a larger span of time in between to really give you a chance to get something done.
yeah. And I'll continue. I mean, I'll share my stuff that I do with the Google Classroom and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It just I check with my principal. I work for Wilmington Early College High School,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm in like I guess what I call precarious or different situation or unique. I'm teaching personal finance right now, and that's
Okay.
being flipped or sent over to the one of the core courses, right? For civics or one of the history classes are going to be teaching those.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably the last time I'm going to teach this class.
Okay.
um, Normally, what I taught last semester was principle of business and finance. And they told me that instead of the personal finance, that I'm going to get either entrepreneurship or wealth management or most likely one of those two, or possibly maybe project management or one of those other ones. So what I told the principal is like, I'm gonna try. I don't. It's not I don't want to do the work or I want to invest the time, but I rather invest the time, for that for that next class,
Mm-hmm.
um, that and get it all ready, then up and running. But then right now, because of this strange situation that we're in, I do have a good flow with the kids with the Google Classroom. I'm getting a good, what do you call, like a feed participation with them. I mean, I would assume in this time that 50% or a little bit over 50% when I set up phone calls and group
Mm-hmm.
activities online, that 50% is pretty good,
Okay.
out of 60. So I don't know. It's just, I'm getting stressed out that if I have to go ahead and flip, of course, when we have left, whatever, 6 or 8 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And but no, so I'm not opposed to not doing it. It's just that it's just going to put an added, what do you call, stress level or a volume of work for me to do that. And I'd rather do it for something that's going to be long. If Canvas is the medium or the tool that we're going to use, I'll just get it started.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward.
Okay. So basically what I hear is that your classes are already completely set up for online learning for the class that you're teaching right now, and everything is working really well for you, and you're not going to be teaching this class or any of the classes that you're teaching right now ever again. And so
Well, I mean, like the next semester, I assume they're going to give me principle of business and finance again,
okay.
which I could, maybe work on that, but
Hmm.
in the next whatever 6 to 8 weeks, I gotta finish this semester
Okay.
before I start. So it's not waste of time. It's just that I'm when and what and when should I
Well, I mean, if
start?
you know that you're going to be teaching
Mhm.
personal finance or principles of business, if you know that you'll be teaching that again, then
Mhm.
we're only talking about developing what you're going to do now until the end of the school year. So we're not asking you right now to go back and design stuff that you're not going to use right now.
Mhm.
So it's up to you. I mean, what do you want to do? I am familiar with Google Classroom. I've used Google Classroom. My son's school uses Google Classroom, and it's okay. The
Mhm.
interaction is not as great. Neither is the it's okay. It works for some purposes.
Yeah.
So it's totally your choice on what you want to do. We can't make you do anything, but just let us know how we can be of assistance, because we do understand that in terms of Canvas, the functionality, all the function that you could get with Google Classroom is embedded into Canvas, as well as more things. It's got way more functionality. And I think that a lot of people are using Google Classroom, but it's really due to a lack of knowledge or not being familiar with how useful or how to use Canvas in a way that's going to be really beneficial. That going straight to the grade book, I mean, that takes out a lot of time from transferring grades and that type of thing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah. I mean,
so
I'm not opposed at all whatsoever. I know I can see the what do you call the advantages and the functionality, advancements, or
mhm.
better, what I mean, functionality, it's just that I'll go, I'm going to remain with the classes, the rest, and I'll go through the exercise, and try to set some of the shelves and all that. It's just that I just wanted to, just to let you know that.
Right. No, that's no
That's why
problem. But we want you to make a decision as to what is going to be the most useful for you. So if it's only working on a couple of lessons out of Principles of Business because you'll use it again, then by all means do that.
Yep, yep.
So we don't
Okay.
want you to feel like you have to do work that's unnecessary. So that's what I'm just saying. Just make sure that whatever you're going to use because this is the time that we have allotted to help you with it and to really understand it, go through it, and that type of thing. So we want to be as useful to you all as possible.
Yeah, I don't want to then start planning the other class in the summer, or sometime like 3 or 4 weeks before the other semester starts, and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have paid attention to it. You know what I mean?
Right. So did anybody else that's on get a chance to do anything? I know it was a short time, but did anyone get a chance to maybe try and add in some functionality at all into your Canvas shell?
This is Hickman. I did not get a chance to actually do it because I need more time, like creative time, to be able to do it. I can't do that under pressure.
Oh, sure, no problem. We
But
know it was a short time.
yeah, but here's my question, kind of like with the guy who was just talking. With me just starting, and then also already having my class on Google Classroom. And we only have, I guess, a few weeks now or to a couple months left. I love the fact that everything would sync to be able to use this platform, Canvas. But for me to transition them now, like in the midst of all of this, I don't know how they will be able to adapt to it. Or will that, like, it's like I'm snatching them out of one platform that they're all used to, and then I make another change and they've already done another change. So I can see maybe for the upcoming school year. But one thing I would really, really like to do is sync those grades. But for now, I don't know how much grading we will actually be doing with the online school. Anyways,
So from what I was just going to say that from what we understand right now is that high school will be beginning new content next week.
Yes, we are.
Through the end of the school year. And so there is an expectation, of course, of grading, rigor, and relevance, in those courses.
But that's what I'm saying. In the midst of all of this change, and I'm to change platforms, that means I need to go and take everything off of that Google. Well, actually, I don't have to change anything old. So I just create a new website, basically, because that's what this is, like a web page for each class. And I have 3.
So if you
if you think about you guys going April 1st and then you guys going on spring break, right?
Yes.
Is that how it works? Okay. So then when you come back to school, this is a whole new learning experience for students. So you can take it as an opportunity to introduce them into your new e-learning portal, because this is all new. It's all new. You can send them a welcome letter with the link advising them that being that we're going to e-learning now, this is the platform that is going to be used. But I understand both of your concerns. You can either wait till next year, but you can't get past the embedded graded feature. It goes straight to your grade book. So that's the main thing. We're trying to get people to use Canvas because it's less work. It's less work.
Got it.
Taking the
Right,
opportunity of the transition that you currently have. Yeah, we're going to do this April 1st, but the next week you're going on spring break. And when they come back, send them a welcome letter. Welcome to Miss Hickman's e-learning academy or whatever. Here's the steps of what you need to do to get into the new modules or the new platform that we're using for our course. From here on out, we will not be using Google Classroom. We'll be using Canvas. You can explain that without going long and drawn out, because
Okay,
this is a new transition for everybody.
yeah.
So
Okay.
everything is new. So it's not going to, I think sometimes as an adults, we always think that kids are going to get confused. They are tech savvy. They are going to get it.
Okay, got it.
I would just send them some procedures and a new welcome letter, because this is new for you too.
So do y'all have like a tutorial for the kids if needed? Like something that's brief?
Most of the
parents-
students
for the
know
parents
how to, most of the students know how to use Canvas already. And
Okay.
Canvas, when they log into their Rapid Identity, if they're gonna go and look at PowerSchool, they have to go right past the Canvas tab to get to PowerSchool. So it's not like they don't know how to get to it. It's not like they've never seen it or never used it. A lot of teachers already use Canvas, and then there's some teachers that use both Canvas and Google Classroom. So this is not a new platform for students. This is part of what they have. And if they've done any of those digital learning activities that were pushed down by the district, where they had to do those like social responsibility and all that stuff, any of those things that students had to do in their health classes and different stuff like that, it came through Canvas.
Okay, so what about parents? If there's something, maybe a tutorial for parents, or is this something that they would know as well?
This is, like with anything that you do in your classroom, and anything you do in your classroom, you're gonna have to communicate with parents what you're doing and how you're doing it. That's
Okay.
Even if you were using Google Classroom, you've got to communicate that with parents. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's up to you as the instructor to communicate with parents what's going on.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
No problem. So you all will have the weekend, because we don't have our next instructional class until Monday morning. So you'll have the weekend to get things set up, get in there, mess around with it, try and figure it out. If you have questions, just shoot us an email. If you get stuck, shoot us an email. Try not to struggle too long. But did anybody else get a chance to maybe try anything or do anything?
Yeah, I looked at putting in a few assignments and some things like that, and I decided I would change the assignment and break it down, because that was one of the things that was talked about in one of our meetings, that, our assignments should not be like a normal class length assignment. That things should be a little shorter, a little more broken down. That was just a suggestion we got from our administrators. And my other question is, and I get where this is easier, but if you've been using like Google or something like that, I feel like there's a part of that, like the continuity of being familiar with kids. And, right now the kids almost need familiar things as opposed to all new things, because everything's already all new right now, what we're all going through anyways.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
So yeah, I was just looking at my lesson, and I'm gonna take it and break it down into smaller chunks than what I would normally maybe give in a classroom setting.
So I will say this, and I'm not sure. Think about how your students are working with this at home. When a parent looks at Google Classroom to try to help their student, and you've got students, responding in the stream, it could be a bit overwhelming for parents to try to figure out, okay, where's your classwork? Where's your this? Where's your that? What is going to be best for parents to help their kids at home? What's going to make the most sense? What's going to be the easiest? Even if it's more work for us on this end, what is going to be the most user-friendly for the students, you know, for your parents. Think about those things. And if that means that you're just going to use Google Classroom and move forward with that, by all means, you know, do that, and we'll help you do that. Of course, it doesn't have the functionality and stuff, but we can make whatever happen as we need to make it happen. Because like I said, we want to be, you know, as supportive of what you're trying to do as we can. So, you know, think about what types of things you're going to want to do or need to do, and then the time it's going to take you to make that happen.
Okay.
And if your district or your school has given you permission to use Google Classroom, that is, you know, that's cool. Again, just make sure you're cognizant of those privacy things in those chat rooms. But I know a lot of the districts that we work with have mandated that schools use Canvas, number one, because it's by the district, and they can, you know, help to ensure some of those privacy things and make sure students are doing what they need to do, is going straight to the grade book, and all those things are being done. So, you know, like I said, it's going to be just a matter of how do we help you best.
Yeah, I mean, that was just I mean, just thinking about what kids are going through, and you know how everything's changed so much. That was just a thought as far as, you know, if you're going to change your platform completely, it's a lot of just adding more change to everything.
Okay, cool. No problem at all. So how can we assist you with design? Do we need, so I mean, a little bit from everybody. I think we've got about 11, I don't think we should have had about 11 participants, but how can we help you with what we've been through so far in terms of setup? Those that are using Google Classroom, do you know how to, you know, add in some of these things so that students are not just sitting at home doing worksheet after worksheet every day? Do you know how to set it up so that you've got somewhat of a logical flow for your students, especially if they're not with you, for you to tell them what's next?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, just putting it on your page so that they know kind of what's coming up, you know, lay it out.
Is there going to be like a sample or something that we could reference? You know, a lot of times you think you got it okay, and then all of a sudden you're gone, and we got an entire weekend, well, a couple of days that is, and we might draw blank. Is there something that would help us while we're transitioning this, like for us Google Classroom folks?
Yeah, so what types of questions are you having, I guess, specifically? Are you talking about, like, how do you set up your topics and putting the activities underneath them? What exactly are you needing help with? Or do you know?
I don't really know, and that's why I'm just asking, in the event that we need support later, will it be there?
Well, our goal is for this Face to Digital course is to help you get set up, get your structure in place so that you have a function and flow that you can continue to build on. So, you know, what we would need to see, because we were under the impression everybody was going to be using Canvas except for our one middle school teacher who will be using Google Classroom. So, you know, we can certainly help you with the form and function of your Google Classroom, but we would need to see it to kind of give you an idea of
I also in the chat, because I hear a lot of concern. I hear a lot of my Google Classroomers saying, hey, I like the functions of Canvas. However, we kind of late in the game, and we need to have this done by tomorrow, basically, right? And so what I've done is in the chat, I want you to check out those 3 resources, because you can get the best of both worlds. You can connect your Google Classroom to Canvas. I sent you a video tutorial of how to do that. That should at least get us a base in Canvas if you want to do that, and get your assignments where we can connect them, and you don't have to give up or choose, but eventually converting over fully to Canvas, so that you have those options of the embedded and the syncing of the assignments. But if you check out those, that'll help you out at least to get started on the process. No, Sherelle, you don't have to do that. To get started on the process and trying to transfer some of this information, take the weekend to kind of figure out what direction you want to go. Because on Monday, when we talk, we talk again on Monday, right? Yeah. On Monday, when we talk again, if you at least have this structure down, how you want to set it up, we can help you in trying to figure it out. Because I believe Michael said that he needs just help organizing his overall classroom. That's why we wanted to see your shell, but I understand it was a short period of time. But if you can take some time to kind of put some placeholders in place for us, we can kind of walk through the rest of it with you.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
if that's the direction we're gonna do, or we're gonna go ahead and do that, can we just go and get a shell that is already being done? For example, my class is personal finance. There's got to be a shell out there for personal finance, and they're usually the ones that I saw before, which I tried to do some of this, about a year ago or so, year and a half, and I just didn't know, how to move around and organize the stuff. I mean, but bringing the whole shell, and then we're just about to finish module 3, and this comes straight out of the Moodle, and the blueprint that the CTE and CTPI have up there. So we're not creating, we're just taking the information, and the blueprint is already set up, and pulling stuff from there. At least I am, So if I can move create a shell, right, and bring it over, then I can start from module 4, which will be the next, or the couple of sub modules that I have on module 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 4 modules, left. So I don't know. I mean, it's an idea, and forget about the 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, or in part of 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would just start wherever you start. I would just start from where you're going today forward. I wouldn't worry about the whole class. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then go back and fix that later if that's something that you teach every year. But we can send out, just to give you a structure, when we're going to do a recap and send you guys out an email with what we were saying. Just if you have these 5 or 6 things, like Sherelle, I think you had the Google Classroom up. If we go back to Google Classroom, if you have here where it says, what is Face to Digital, you have your introduction to whatever lesson it is. So it may be chapter 5, such and such and such, right? And then you have your objectives there. So that should be the first thing students see. Then the next thing should be either that media piece or whatever the hook is to get them embedded in that lesson and invested in that lesson. Then the next thing should be the agenda, telling them exactly what they have to do. If you want to do due dates, if you want to do that, you can put that on there. Then the next thing that they should have is a resource, like a textbook link or PowerPoint presentation, something like that. And then the next thing is that guided activity. Now that guided activity could either be a pre-recorded message from you showing them how to do something, and it can actually be a demonstration. If you don't want to show yourself doing it, you can actually do a demonstration and talking students through a guided activity. Or it could be a step-by-step procedure kind of thing, if that's what you want to do. But it should just be interactive, and this is your teaching moment, not going through the PowerPoint slides and they writing down stuff. That's not the guided activity. And then they should have something that they do individually. So the next one would be whatever their individual activity is. And then the last one is some type of assessment. It could be 5 questions. It could be a discussion board, just seeing if they understood what they did in that whole module. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items within a module. Not including if you're going to do announcements, like how you contact them. And you see how she's dropping it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you could do. But just making sure those students have those pieces in a unit, module, chapter, whatever they're going to do with it. It should be basically project based and not just write down the definitions or doing this. I know we have to do that, and that's the reason why you give the resources. However, you can do it in different ways.
I mean,
So
if you
just
want,
check out. Go ahead.
if you want, I can share share my Google Classroom. Just I
Yeah,
mean,
we can.
it's very similar to what you have in there. It's just that I call it. I try to follow the same format that the Moodle package comes in. It's like module 3 has like 7 sub modules. You know what I mean? And so I have like 7 sub modules, and I have one kind of for the materials. Like which is the PowerPoint,
Yeah.
and then so.
Yeah, that would be good if you actually did that and maybe showed how you
Okay.
transfer maybe
Yeah.
a class or something. That would
So
probably help.
do I want to share the screen or my winning?
You can share. You can share now. I unshared mine, so you can share it. You can share your screen.
Let me just go to the Google Classroom one, or can I share the whole window just to?
When you click on the green share button at the bottom, it'll let you choose what screen you want to share.
Okay.
So as long as you have it pulled up, you can click on it.
I got lost in the air. That's not it. No, that's just the drive. But here's an example. Okay, these are all of the sub modules, right? Under the this module called 3, which is called earnings, and
Okay.
we went into this pandemic, right? I was somewhere in between in here, and I gave them some non-gradable or assignments in here, but I'll flip it to the Google Classroom in a second. And this is what's left in here. So
Okay. So do
let me
you do
see if I
those
can.
by week, or you like how do you do it? Like
I
how do
try.
you
I
usually
try
do
to.
the sub modules?
I do the sub modules, and I try to stay within like a weekly, and I had assigned, on the pacing guide like a X number of whatever days and whatnot. But
Yeah.
sometimes, depending on how the days go, and our school is a little bit different because we have half days on Fridays, So and they have this club days, where so we actually I have to cover all of it in less time than a regular, traditional high school. So let me see.
Gotcha.
So here's I don't know if you can you still see the screen? So
Are you in your Google Classroom?
yeah.
Okay, so click new share. Click new share.
So new share.
And then when that window pop up, click on the one that has your Google Classroom. Because we're stuck at your folders.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Is there a way I can share the entire window so you can see me flipping or there?
Yes, let me see.
Is it the screen, iPhone, pad? No,
Yes, but I can't remember the exact verbiage for it, and I can't do it
okay.
because you're sharing. But every time you do it,
I will. Okay, there you go.
There you go. Show him how to do it. When you click
when you click that green button, just hit. I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm gonna show you how I move over. So then I click the green share button again, and I can switch to something different and hit share again. Oh yeah, there we go. And now I can do something different. Uh-oh, my screen is paused. Why is my screen paused? Resume share. Okay. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Every time that I do it that way and I share my whole window, it always gets stuck. So that's why it's always safe to go back to new share
Yeah.
and then just click on the window that you're trying to share. Because mine gets stuck every time.
All right, you can share your window, share your new window.
Okay. Let me close some windows, some tabs in here so I don't have like this. Why is it just stuck on that? I mean, I don't even see the.
Click on new share. There you go.
All right, there you go.
All right, so I'm just gonna go. This is just one of this. Was one of those ungradable things that I got from Next Gen Personal Finance. It looks like a Google Doc, but let me see if I can go back into the. So I'm just gonna go here. I have my first, third, fourth, and fifth periods, personal finance. It's just they'll say the same. And here's a stream. I had a meeting with them today, so I mean, I kind of like do stuff on the stream to let them know. Sometimes I send them motivational messages and videos, you know, just to keep them track.
So that's your announcements right there, right?
Yeah. Now I work off mainly out of this classwork, you know, and if you notice, I copied this from an archive class from last semester or the previous time I taught this. So that's why you see all this draft, because I just brought the the class. But down below in here, you can start seeing, like I have a subfolder for Quizlet that I just started. I posted like, you know, this item has like 50 something vocabulary items for that whole module 3. And I can probably just create one topic just so I can drop all of these sub modules under one, you know, I assume.
Yeah.
But here's one, the one that you were just seeing, like this one. I just took this, you know, out of there. So I told them, you know, I pulled it out of the Next Gen Personal Finance. It was like a really good activity, I thought, you know, and I pushed it out to all the 60 or 62 students I have. And here's what the document looked like. And it was they're real simple, but you know, to me they're impactful, and they carry what I wanted. Let me just lower this here. Like this is what they're showing them. You know, it's a chart on employment.
Yeah.
And which careers are growing fastest, you know, and they have like the left and the right side. One is based on a percentage, and the right side is based on a number, whole numbers of employees, you know. And they have like 5, and they have a whole, this Next Gen Personal Finance has a lot of material, or, you know, that I can use to kind of like send them this, you know, like, okay, you know, I need to look at this and answer these questions, you know. And I did. And then, for example, this young lady is the one that I had open here, I think it is. She replies, you know, Mr. Abraham, I think I did this right. So I just went through it, you know, and look at it, and it looks good, you know, but I just I made a little comment to her just to clarify her answer. And I said, great job, you know, you understood the charge, the purpose of that, coming, blah, blah, blah. What I told him, please, you know, take a look at the statement that I gave you. I said, you don't have to change the answer. It's just, you know, I was just trying to clarify to her, for her, what the one side versus the other one meant, you know, that a higher percentage, you know, doesn't mean necessarily a higher number of jobs or positions available, you know. So I just made that back, you know, and I sent it back to her, and she got completed like a check mark instead of because it's ungraded right now.
So just so you guys know, we're not asking you to change your content at all. We're only making sure that it's logical flow, it's easy to find, you have the interactivity that you
Mhm.
need in order for students to remain engaged in your class. Because if they, like we talked about earlier, if they have just kind of worksheet after worksheet, 8 hours on end every single day,
Yeah,
it's gonna kind of get monotonous, and then kids are just gonna do it for completion and not actually learn anything. So, we're not asking you to change your content. These will be the same activities, or, with some improvements or with some more interactivity that you would put in Canvas if you were to use it. And it looks like you already have your file folders and all of the files. So it would just mean uploading it, or, creating links,
like in
between them.
like this one in here, the meeting I had with them, I set it up for an hour, but usually it's just about a half an hour, 40 minutes. I just went and pulled quizzes, and I got like about 35 of the 62 students that I have to join. And I just, hosted one of these quizzes, activities. So I put in
And so
here
like
that
for that, the students would then have to leave Google Classroom to go to the quizzes site, correct?
well, I mean, I put the link in there. So all they have to do is just click on the hot link, and
And it takes them to
it
a new
should take them
website.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can practice in there, like the question by themselves, or they can get together on a group on their own and compete with each other, or I can just host it like I did a couple hours earlier this morning, and I just hosted it, and I put the leaderboard and let them. I mean, they seem to like that kind of stuff at time to compete with each other. I don't know why, but they they like to who can finish first and all that. I tell them it's not the speed, people, it's the quality, not the not the quantity or the speed. So anyway, that's just kind of like how I have been doing this. I can see that maybe I can just pull the quizzes and this Quizlet, I can make it part of this, because right now I have them separated, in a separate spot, and make them part of the I guess the module individually. Like you see how I have like the 1, the 2, and the 3 separated, but they're all just in the quizzes.com rather than dropping each one of these activities,
Right. So like if
each
a
one of them.
student is looking at their work, they would have to go to like the 303, do that, and then scroll down, find quizzes, then do that, and then scroll somewhere else. So what we're talking about putting them
Yeah.
together is creating
Mm-hmm.
a sequence, and then so that they can do it. And for those people who are going to use Canvas, you would be able to embed the quizzes right in Canvas, and the student would never have to leave Canvas to then go to quizzes to do that particular activity. It would be right. They would never leave that Canvas shell. There would be a window that opens up that shows the quizzes, and they would do the activity right there while still in Canvas.
Okay, so
got
this
you.
is Hickman. I got a question about that. So if you embed it, because I know you can embed on Google Classroom as well, and have it there where they can do it right there. My question is, when you put it on Canvas and they actually do the work, will the grade go to Canvas, or will we have to manually put the grade in, like the scores from quizzes or Kahoot?
It depends on how you set that particular activity up in Canvas. So it just
Okay, I would definitely love to know more about that next week, I guess, and how you can make that work, because I've used quizzes and Kahoot a lot
So where where it
already.
said external, so where on the grading, when we were looking at the assignment and where it said external tool, that would be where we would select the
Oh,
quizzes
okay,
or whatever it is
okay.
that it will pull the grade from.
Do you want me to to stop sharing and give that back to you guys, or I mean, I was just sharing my humble setup, in Google Classroom.
Oh, we certainly appreciate it. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, if you want to keep using mine, it's fine. I mean, I just don't. Um, it sounds like there was, like we have, I don't know, several Google Classroom users in here. So
And like I said, we
I
can
don't know.
help you all set up either.
Mm-hmm.
We just know that your greatest benefit is going to come from Canvas. So if you're willing to do the work and put it in to get it, transferred over, it would definitely be to your benefit, in the long run. It might be a little bit more work right now, but it would certainly benefit you. But like we said, we want to help you be as effective right now as possible. So we're here to support.
I want to work smarter, so not harder.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever is going to be smarter, it
Mhm.
seems like Canvas would be.
Yeah. So, what we can do, okay. So, Jasmine, would you mind just showing them the Canvas shell that had the Scratch windows embedded in?
I showed them that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I showed them that as they're talking through, I am putting these resources out here because it's not that I do want you to convert. I do, but I do understand that everybody is under pressure in the time that we have to do this, because Canvas would be your best, the best bet overall. So that's the reason why I'm putting these out here. Ms. Hickman wanted to know, she used a lot of Kahoot quizzes. You can connect that to your Canvas as well. So not a lot of reinventing the wheel. You just need to know how to do it. I put 2 videos out there for that. And then bringing your Google Classroom over into there. It's a lot of demonstrations on that as well. For this, with the Kahoot, it is very interesting because I had the opportunity to work with a teacher on this one. I'm gonna just show you this. This is how you embed it when you create it. If you want to put it in here, I did put this link in there for you. So the ones that you already have, you can bring them over to your Canvas. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's just basically clicking on the plus and adding it in. Okay. So all you have to do is go up and copy and share where it says that right here, and you'll bring it in. All external URLs, you can bring those in and embed them in your course, and your students can just go through them in that module. And they don't have to say, hey, take out your phone, do this. You don't have to do all of that because it'll all be in your course. So this link is out there for you to use to try to play around with the ones that you do have. The only thing that I would just ask you to do is just pick one topic that you know that you're going to do next week, and then try to put it in the perspective of those 7 things that we supplied for you guys. Don't try to do the whole semester. Just pick one topic and try to put it into the perspective of those 7 items that we have shared with you, using the stuff that you already have. So if you're using Kahoot and you have a quiz for that, embed it in if you want to convert your stuff to Canvas. If you already have stuff in Google Classroom, view that video and merge the 2, because Google Docs is embedded in Canvas already. It's already embedded in Canvas, so you don't have to worry about that. So they share and pair very well together. However, the grading criteria of it does not. So when it comes in, you're just gonna have to do a little extra step, but you can still sync it as long as you embed it into Canvas. And the assignments are running through there. So just watch those 2 videos, and I think you guys, some of the frustration or anxiety of this whole thing will kind of, lessen a little bit, because now you're just clicking links and sharing and bringing it over versus trying to create a whole new online learning environment. So those are in the chat, but I will take them out the chat and just put them in a nice email for you too, if you would like for me to do that. If you did not catch them all, I will do that and pull them out and send those to you and define them out for you.
That would be really good. And
Okay.
the 5 components that you
Is it just me? Can anybody hear him?
suggesting, you know,
I don't know if
or
this is if it's
recommending
my
that
headset or
we
what. I don't.
I
keep
know. I didn't hear Mr.
in
Abraham.
mind for
I don't
Mr.
think he can
Abraham.
hear us.
Oh,
Okay,
because I
Tim.
cannot. I thought it was me. I thought my AirPods
Yeah, I
was
was
going dead.
checking my headset. Got it.
Oh. Okay, so
Okay.
I think he wants me to send that out. So I will send all those links out in a nice, neat email to you guys, especially those three with connecting your Google Classroom to Canvas, the Kahoot to Canvas. Is it in? Oh, and the parentals, like how to pair the parents with your Canvas. If you have a lot of parents that want to be in tune to your classroom, I have the instructions, the link on that of how to pair. Was there anything else that you guys needed so I can give you some more, let me see, step-by-step instructions on how to make this transition easy?
Hey there. I was just gonna say, after we send out that email, we're gonna add just a little quick question at the bottom, which is, are you using Google Classroom or Canvas? And then which one are you gonna need the most help with? And just kind of give us a little bit of information so we have for each person what you're trying to accomplish, because we want to make sure that we have everything that you need. So just make sure that after you get that email of the links and everything this evening, that you just reply to us so we know exactly what everyone is trying to do so we can help you as best as possible.
Yes, and this is the other link that I sent you guys because it came up about pairing your parents with the students in your classroom. So I did share this one with you as well. And these are the ones that we kind of use and go by because they're tutorial video sessions. So I think once we give you this toolbox and trying to make this transition, just do one topic because you just have to get through, I guess, April 1st through the 3rd, and then you go on spring break, and then you get an opportunity to kind of think about it a little bit more. And I would just take this week by week until you get it transferred over or whatever you decide to use throughout this process. But I think that'll be an easier transition.
And then this is a good time, if you're already using Google Classroom and you're comfortable, just try out creating the one lesson in Canvas and just see how it goes for you. Even if you end up not using that particular lesson in Canvas April 1st through the 3rd, you at least have had an opportunity to learn with us and figure it out that way. If in the future you decide you want to transition over, you know how to do that. So that's what we would suggest, along with working on whatever you are going to do. Definitely, at least just try it and see how it works for you.
That sounds a lot more manageable to me.
Quick question.
Sure.
We were told that we should continue using the learning management system that we've already been using. Do you think that it would be, I don't know, I'm going to ask my administrator, could I go ahead and maybe just go ahead and switch over?
So I will say that most districts in the state would prefer you to use Canvas.
Right.
So I don't foresee it being an issue if you're switching to that. But if you're switching to something else, that may be an issue. I think what they're trying to accomplish is they don't want to make it too complicated. So whatever you're using, they're saying you can keep using that, but we would prefer if you use Canvas. So I don't think there would be an issue. Definitely check. But because Canvas is the state standard, I don't foresee it being an issue.
And then you can always throw in there that you're going to merge the two, because you may not at this time convert fully over. You may just do a merge. And then, I mean, after watching that video, you'll see that it's really not too much of a difference for the students. It's really a more cleaner format, if you want my opinion.
Right.
Instead of it looking like just like a wiki site, it actually looks like an educational learning module for the students versus a wiki. You know, so when you merge the two, it'll kind of give you a little bit more formation with it. And so I would just do that first, unless you just can do it real fast and design it, because I don't want to put more on you than what's needed, because this already is a lot. Like we were saying, it's already a lot to just be one day you going to work, the next day they telling you not coming in, and then everything's shut down. Then you tell me to give kids work and you tell me not to grade it. Then we come back from spring break, we got a grade assignment. So it's a lot. It is. So just pick whatever transition is best for you.
Thank you.
So we're going to send out that email here shortly. We want to be respectful of your time. If you have any questions, feel free to email us any questions you have, and we will get back with you. We know this is a tight timeline to make these transitions. So if there's something that you need to do that you just do not know how to do, let's get on a phone call or something, and maybe we can do it quicker than, what might take you 3 hours might take us like 10 seconds. So just communicate with us. We want to be as helpful as possible.
But do we have your direct extensions? Because
We'll
know
put
there
it
was-
all in. We'll put it all in the email with it too, if you don't have it.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So, one more thing. So if we come up with our, and put all of this together, because I'm going to try and challenge myself to do it. I have a couple hours I can do it tomorrow. If I have it up, will I be able to, will you be able to critique it or help me fine tune or whatever on Monday? Or
Yep.
will we be on to something else on Monday?
Well, we'll still be working with the design process, but this time we want to work on putting the meat in there. What we want you to think about this weekend is that, how am I going to design this platform out with those 7 items? Like, how is this going to look? Like, what items do I want to use? That's what this portion of it is getting it set up, going ahead and doing your welcome, like those different pages. But then on Monday, we're going to put the meat in there. So if you copy and pasting over your objectives, you already have a placeholder for it. This is where it's going to go on the agenda. This is where this is going to go here. If I'm doing that Kahoot quiz, I'm going to connect it right here to this survey spot that I have right here. That's more of what we'll be doing on Monday, and giving those engaging type of activities. If you didn't think of a hook, if you need an idea of what hook you can use for this, things of that nature.
Okay.
So that when students go there, because we know that students don't really like to read.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you put a whole page of words, they're not going to read it. So what we try to do is getting past that and trying to either you incorporate more videos or more discussion boards where they're talking, or creating your collaborative groups and things of that nature.
Is there a way to upload audios? Like if you did some quick audio or something?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it
Really?
is. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's screencasts that you can do. Like if you want to maybe talk through doing something on your screen, like maybe you pull up a whiteboard and you're maybe working out a problem and you want to talk through it and then add that video, you can certainly do that. You can do all of those.
Yeah, I
things.
probably won't do a whiteboard. I still got nurse's handwriting.
Oh.
I don't think it's correctable.
The most important thing is at least have the placeholders, those 7 items under a lesson title.
Okay.
Even if you don't know what goes in them just yet.
We can talk through that. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mhm.
Whew. All right.
Oh, but remember, this is just one topic. We're not talking about the rest of the semester, because this is the thing. If you do this one right, guess what? You just copy it to every week. You copy the same structure every week, and you just change the content.
Yep.
So
Okay.
if we get one good topic set up, then
It's a
the
model.
rest of the time,
I mean, like the
you've
next
already-
unit that we're
Yep.
covering, then I just put that and then go from there. I don't
Yep.
have to do several. And then also in our, I went to, well, it was a Google Classroom training at the school. And the lady who did it, she's, I guess, our IT person. She said to just put it down as week 1 or week so and so, like whatever this week is, like let's say the 26th or something like that. And it'll say that week, and then the next week it has week like 29 through April, whatever. So should we be doing the same thing for this? Because I have not done that yet, but since we're online now, so if anybody has missed anything, they can easily get caught up and just know this is what we were covering during this week.
Right. So that's why your announcements play a big part. Your announcements let them know, like, hey, this week, if you do assignments by the week, hey, this week we are going to be working in module 3.4. All assignments
Right.
are due by Sunday, 11:59. You know what I mean? And then the next week, and that's why you get them accustomed and groomed. And I'm going to tell you why.
Got it.
I am a collegiate instructor, and that's how, and I teach online a lot. That's how I do it. And I'll share with you next week my calendars. We just do weeks. We don't do,
Yes.
we heavily rely on our announcements because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you're teaching the same class over and over again, if you have a calendar that's just based off of modules and weeks, students know what week we're in, especially if it coordinates with your announcements. If you send out an announcement and your news feed changes every week, it connects to their lesson.
Mm-hmm. And you can always do a pairing calendar that shows the dates and what week it corresponds to.
Yep.
And that was the one thing that I changed every semester. I had all my weeks. And then when you're doing your lesson modules, you can title your lesson modules based on the lesson. And then in your announcement is a week, whatever number announcement, and you're doing these lesson modules.
But you got to also
Okay.
remember too, that in Canvas, when you create an assignment, it asks you when do you want it to start and when you want it to end. That embeds in the student's to-do list.
Yep.
So when they see
really?
on the running,
Okay.
yes, on the running side, right-hand side, they have a running to-do list of everything that is due within that week. So it's no reason for them to say, I didn't know what I was supposed to do, because they have an announcement, they have a running to-do list on the right-hand side, and then they have the syllabus or calendar that you're going to give them, and then they have their modules. And it's all going to coordinate. And even from the to-do list, they can click on the assignments from there.
Oh, that's sweet. So what about announcements? Announcements, if you put announcements, does it automatically send them an email or something, or does it send them a personal alert that, hey, there's something new?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get an option.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So your challenges for this weekend before we meet on Monday is to come up with one topic that you are going to teach, that you're going to teach next week or the next week, depending on what you're going to do, but just one topic. So we can structure that very, very well. And then you can use that same structure throughout the rest of your online learning modules.
All right, any questions? All righty, well, we thank you guys, and we will be sending that email out in just a little bit. Just make sure you respond, and we will see you guys Monday morning. Let us know if you have any questions over the weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have
Appreciate
a good
it.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.